Okay, remember that they are changing my voice. By now you should have no doubt in your mind that they're persecuting me. I'm not some average person making this argument. I have 23 witnesses on record, and the son of 2 doctors, 1 a brain surgeon, and have a legal and peaceful top martial arts challenge that's 10 years and counting that goes beyond any human achievement ever. It proves mind, body, soul, and spirit, outdoor sparring. Spar at spirit. There is no other way to look at it, and many, many people have agreed that I'm right. Now, with that being said, what is Romeo Must Die about? Well, why did they mock black people? Why the black faces? Why didn't they mock brown people? Why didn't they mock yellow people, or Asian people rather? Why didn't they mock other people to the same degree? To the same degree as black people? Why didn't other people resist them to the same degree as black people? It has to do with natural inclinations. And again, I'm not a racial supremacist. These are just the facts, right? No offense to anybody, what have you. So when it says Romeo must die, well, who were the Romans trying to superimpose themselves on? Well, among other ideas, the Egyptians. And who founded the Egyptian empire? Black people. No matter what scientists are saying, you know that for sure. Scientists are a bunch of Eurocentric people who work for corporations. They're in a bunch of social clubs, secret societies. They have a long, long history of Eurocentric twists of things, trying to make the white man seem superior. And we've seen, racism increase more than ever in recent years, just utterly increase. And certainly the number of racists have increased drastically in recent years. Okay, and they're being born all the time and so on and so forth. Okay. So when it says Romeo must die, it's, because what you might say the white man, white people or the Jewish people, LGBT people, certain groups of people that run these people, certainly that, are insisting that people look at things when it comes to dating with their scale. They want you to date corporate execs. They want you to date police officers and military people. They want you to date people in their social clubs, people in their various networks. Pretty straightforward, right? They're like crazed soccer fans who are rapists instead, who are mad if their rape spirit, rape by deception, force at times, their rape spirit. They're mad at the thought that it doesn't dominate. They don't want people to think in terms of love. They want people to think in terms of, being a social norm fanatic, which is basically being crazy. If you turn a blind eye to what really matters for white social norm fanaticism or any other worldly idea, what happens? You reject love and you sleep with people you otherwise wouldn't. And the LGBT community pushes the line hard, okay? They molest kids. A lot of these people molest kids. Everyone knows it. Churches, Boy Scouts, you name it. And they're trying to get people to think in a way that is different than being a true romantic person. Truly romantic person, with all due respect, and it has to do with heterosexuality. You can't be truly romantic without being morally precise and heterosexual. Okay, other things are just kind of mere human conceptions, LGBT games, erotic desire games, rich, privileged, white people games, what have you. So when they say Romeo must die, they're talking about the true idea. When they crucified, their false image of Christ, right? They put the false image of Christ out there. It was to superimpose it on the true idea, which is a black person. Again, what idea did the Romans want to get rid of? The idea of the black god Pharaoh, the son of God. The son of God who's God's image. They knew the white man is not the image of God. I mean, man was made in God's image in Africa. You don't go to a different terrain with a different mentality and change fucking colors and they say, hey guys, I'm the image of God. To the masses of colored people who are indigenous peoples of the world, especially not to the people who come from the original land. What the hell, right? If you want to bake a cake, you don't grab a bunch of meat and start putting on the frying pan and say, hey, I'm baking a cake. No, that's not the right material, and that's not the right mentality. That's not the right formula. It's not the right recipe. Now, with that being said, again, no one can be right with God after my flesh dies, including black people. But you need to understand what's going on. A bunch of racist whites, Jews, and LGBT people and corporations and various privileged groups. You can imagine crest-wearing groups, social clubs, secret societies. They are persecuting me like complete children. You might say, well, why would they do that? Well, why would they haze? Why did they, mock Jesus in the story? Why does the military haze people? Why does the police? Why do gangs jump people in and fuck people in? Okay, the simple answer, they're fucking crazy. And they come from a long line of people who influenced them to be crazy, right? Okay? Not necessarily because of their race, we'll say, but certainly their families tend to do things in a certain way that has them inclined to be gang members, society at large, okay? People join. Why would you join a police force in the most corrupt nation in the world? I mean, fucking people are nuts, right? And they're nuts in groups. I mean, that's the core reason. Okay? It's developmental disorders, okay? Psychological reasons, their life experience, whatever you want to, they're fucking nuts and they're jealous and they're petty and childish. Hello? Okay, so on the gang issue, real fast. Yes, some people come from nicer families than other people, right? But whether they're trying their best to raise them right and be nice and go to church, in which I know people shouldn't go to church, right? Or not, the bottom line is they weren't raised a certain way where they're likely to be morally precise. They're kind of raised to conform, right? Say you're a black person or a Hispanic person, you're raised in the church, right? And you're raised to kind of conform to society and not to come to God. They might discuss morals, but they didn't raise them to transcend this world. And this world is run by people that convince people to haze. And again, no offense to anybody, I have to explain things while I'm being fumed and poisoned. I'm not trying to offend people other than the offense that God intended. And that's always the case. No matter what video you're watching, no matter who I'm talking about, that's the case.